with the win over a team they lost to in Madison earlier this year. So they split the regular season series, home and home.
Tom Izzo undefeated in the month of March this year, Brent. 1-0.
Indeed.
He's back at it.
Wisconsin fouled on 45. That's his fifth.
And let's see, is that a little cramp? Looking like the reaction at first. Guess that's probably a cramp.
They see him flexing their foot there, flexing the toe, trying to loosen up the calf muscle. A big part at this stage of the season, Brent, the hay is in the barn, as coaches like to say. You can't change the makeup of your team, but you can make subtle adjustments. You want to make sure your team is fresh mentally and physically so that you don't have injuries. And that's why coaches will cut back on practice time, do more rehearsal with video work and walkthroughs as we watch Brown here.
You know, you might recall when this team went over for the Maui Classic that they stopped off in Hawaii, and there were major cramping problems. So I recall Shannon Brown was one of the players, was one of the Spartans affected that night. They lost that game, and then that great triple overtime game before beating Arizona in overtime. So Gonzaga beat them in the triple overtime. And I really watching over there.
And when they went on that Hawaii trip, they took all the measures anticipating those problems with the heat and the conditions of those hot, smaller gymnasiums that exist. And they had plenty of fluids. They had potassium, lots of bananas. They took all the steps and still had problems with cramps.
That's next. Syracuse and DePaul. The Badgers go down to defeat. Flowers makes it a 9. And that's it. Go Ryan. Down to shake Tom Izzo's hand. $74-65 for Steve Lavin, Aaron Andrews, and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Brent Musburger. Now let's go to Dave Pasch and Rick Majerus in Chicago.
Presented by IBM, continuing in the Big East with DePaul and Syracuse. In a game with postseason implications, when has that not been the case in the Big East this season? Arguably the most competitive regular season in the history of the conference. Syracuse still alive for an NCAA tournament berth. DePaul hanging on for dear life in hopes of still going to the Big East tournament. And DePaul wins the opening tap, and they throw the alley-oop on the opening play. Chandler too far into the basket, brings it out to Mejia.
The lob was a good idea. You always want to be high in the lob. Better too high than too low.
Here's Curry. Back rim the 3. Rebounded by Darrell Watkins. Syracuse comes into this game with a record of 19-9, 7-7 in the Big East, 8th place. They need to win their last 2 games tonight and then Sunday against Villanova, and hope that Seton Hall loses on Friday to Pittsburgh to get the 7 seed. Otherwise, they'll be in that 8-9 game at noon from Madison Square Garden on ESPN. Syracuse turns it over on its first possession of the game.
That was Devendorf's turnover, although it'll be credited with McNamara. He moved out of his space too early, a typical freshman mistake.
And if Boeheim gets a win tonight, coach, that'll be 28 20-win seasons in 30 years on the Syracuse bench.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer.
Trying to make it 25 NCAA tournament appearances in 30 years. Shot clock inside of 10 seconds for DePaul.
Poor foul shooting team and a poor three-point shooting team. And just as I said, they knocked down a 3.
Mejia only 26% from out there. And DePaul scores first. Mejia's had some big games this year. 30 against Providence, 24 against Marquette, 24 at Wake. And that's when Wake Forest was ranked, as McNamara gets his first basket of the game and the first points for Syracuse. McNamara. And then on the other end, Chandler with a jam.
There's no excuse for that when you're playing the zone defense, because you don't have to talk, communicate. You just simply have to run back to areas of the floor. That was terrible transition D by Syracuse.
Chandler, the Big East Rookie of the Week, had a career-high 26 points the last game out for DePaul against Seton Hall. Devendorf hits the three, shooting 40% from three-point land this year. DePaul back down the floor. Another transition hoop. Karan Clark with a jam, this time on the alley-oop.
Jim can't make the substitution fast behind.
Here's Nichols. Now Watkins. Watkins averaging 11 points per game his last 2 games. Double figures in 4 of his last 6. He ties the game at 7.
They were still on slightly a jog back. Syracuse is in that 2-3 zone. Their baseline just reeks with an immaturity.
Here's Curry. Tried the lob again, but Brumfield turned his back. And it's a DePaul turnover. McNamara featured, as usual, on our IBM Star Watch and all.
Chandler's a young Tyrone Corbin. There's Blue Demon fans that recognize Corbin from years ago will see this, only he's a much better rebounder. But this kid's got a middle game package. He's going to have a good long ball.
Syracuse touched it last. DePaul with plenty of time on the shot clock. Mejia gets the roll. He's got 5 points already in the game, and these teams are hot. 7 out of 8 combined from the field so far. Here's McNamara, scored in single figures his last 2 games. He's never done it 3 times in a row under 10-point career. And a foul on the floor, the first foul in the game. It's going to go against Wilson Chandler for DePaul. You mentioned the substitution for Syracuse. Onuaku has come into the game. So you look at Jerry Wainwright, Chicago guy, started his coaching career, high school ball here in Illinois. First year back in the area at DePaul.
Watkins was taken out because of defensive transition.
Nichols was off target. Now Clark on the other end. Rattles home a 3. DePaul with 2.
And just as I had questioned their perimeter shooting, and I'll tell you what, even the Syracuse zone doesn't stretch out to the land of the NBA 3 like that.
DePaul is 14th in the conference in scoring. Beautiful move by Devendorf. He has 5. But DePaul struggles in just about every offensive category. So you're right on it, Coach. But so far, they've only got 1 miss and 5 makes from the field. And they've made 5 in a row after missing their first shot.
Well, don't forget they got 3 of those in transition. And Jim rectified that with the substitutions we talked about earlier.
And here gets the Watkins now. After they got the offensive rebound. Clark from way out. Another 3.
They all look good when they're going in, but they're settling for those jump shots. Whatever you accept in victory, you've got to accept in defeat. I think they're getting tantalized by the long ball right now.
Now Clark is the one guy who can really shoot it from out there. 38% from three-point land. Devendorf. The follow goes. Onuaku flying in there, dunks it home. Syracuse back within 4. 26 points in 4.5 minutes between these 2 teams. Clark thought about it. Now Chandler on the baseline.
They haven't even looked inside. Forget about passing there. DePaul hasn't given a look inside yet.
Mejia misses the 3, but an offensive rebound. Now another attempt. Mejia off target. Chandler with 2 opportunities, and this time he's fouled. DePaul just crashing the offensive glass.
Here we're going to see Clark. It's going to be terrific ball movement. They change it. Nice rotation. Clark knees bent. The long ball.
NCAA Women's Basketball Championship begins March 18th.
Would you kindly tell me what you're doing in the road?
I'm with the help desk. You're lost. You're headed to Fresno.
Fresno, right.
This is the road to Albuquerque.
How'd you know we were lost?
The boxes told me.
The boxes.
RFID radio tags on the cargo. Helps track shipments.
The boxes knew we were lost.
Maybe the boxes should drive.
Very funny.
Sauce. Try to Kung Pao.
Make way for CJ. Watch out. Watch out. What's up, guys? Hey. Don't mind if I do. Woo.
Nice, man. That was the Kung Pao sauce for my shrimp.
Dip into flavor in a whole new way with Friday's new Flavor Shots Grill. Pick an entree in your choice of either sweet or spicy Flavor Shots Grill dipping sauces. Everyone could use more Fridays.
me I can't. I don't hate you.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And in part by TGI Fridays Restaurants. Dip into Friday's new Flavor Shots Grill. Everyone could use more Fridays.
Downtown, 25-minute drive from Allstate Arena. DePaul leading Syracuse by 4. Dave Pasch and coach Rick Majerus. DePaul falling in love with the outside shot. Syracuse sitting back in that 2-3. The Blue Demons taking advantage of it.
Yes, they are. And I'll tell you what, you've got to go inside against the zone. You must look there first. You've either got to go to the block or to the high post. Right now, they're falling for the fool's gold of the early shot. But one thing you will see is McNamara moving so well without the ball man-to-man. Watch this change of pace, change of direction. Look at that. 2 different speeds. Beautiful reverse. Roberts makes a nice put up by superb movement without the ball.
Syracuse down by 4. DePaul, even though they have settled for a lot of 3-point shots, 6 assists on 6 field goals, and Jabari Curry with 5 out of the 6 assists. And talking with Jerry Wainwright today, coach, he said that Curry's the key to the team as the first free throw goes for Chandler.
I'd certainly concur with that, but then again, I'm not coaching that club. But Wainwright has done a good job in spite of the record, given their youth and inexperience and the fact that it's these players from Dave Lato now at Virginia.
1 out of 2. DePaul is 9th in the conference in free throw shooting. Syracuse is last. DePaul has to win tonight and then on Saturday against Notre Dame to have any chance at going to the Big East tournament. If it loses one, it's definitely out. Meanwhile, Louisville, because of tie-breaking procedures, has spot in New York at the Big East tournament next week. And there was a lot of speculation early in the season they wouldn't make the tournament when they were losing. But they are in.
There they go, high post through the zone opposite. Ironically, that's the best shot they've got, Dave, with the nicest action, and they miss it.
If you're Wainwright, do you encourage these guys to keep shooting it because Syracuse is allowing them to?
Well, let's not forget, most of these shots have come in somewhat in transition. Jim Boeheim's made the substitutions he's made.
Roberts missed the shot. Last touch by DePaul. Didn't hit the rim. So the timer is at 15 seconds. Matt Gorman comes into the game replacing Roberts. So as we mentioned, Louisville is in. And everybody except South Florida still with a chance to go to the tournament in New York. And again, DePaul has to win both to even have a chance at going to Madison Square Garden. Shot clock at 6. Gorman from outside. Off the mark with a 3. Last touch by Clark. So Syracuse gets the ball in a fresh.
When you're rebounding, you want to make room for yourself and you want to body out. You got to want to create space for yourself so that play there doesn't happen.
Gorman is off. Another opportunity for Syracuse on this possession. Here's Devendorf, who has 5 points already in the game. Working hard in the lane and scores. Boy, is he a good freshman.
No question about it. The thing that impresses me about him is his ability to drive the closeout. He makes good decisions on the build-out when the defense comes to him. And he's out on the...
Tired at this stage of the year, but it doesn't seem like he slowed down much.
They talk about that freshman wall and guys hitting it. How about that nice pass from McNamara? And there's our man right there running the floor like it's back in January.
Devendorf right on cue with 9 of the 15 Syracuse points. The Orange back within 1.
So athletic and yet an outstanding shooter.
If Syracuse wins this game, are they in the NCAA tournament, coach?
I believe they are. Their strength of schedule.
Clark hits the 3. That's 4 made threes already by DePaul. You're talking about strength of schedule. Their RPI is also top 30.
No question about it. And then you're looking at the Big East, which is the premier conference in the country this year.
Strength of schedule.
A lot of people say Big Ten, but it's Big East. The thing that hurts the Big East is that RPI 230 of South Florida. That really drags them down. How about DePaul has beaten Cal on their court, beaten Wake on their court, you know, and they're a lower echelon Big East team.
For Syracuse, you mentioned the strength of schedule. It's 9th. A key win against West Virginia. Last 10 games, they're 4-6, but they have won 2 of their last 3.
But I think it's essential, and I think you'd concur with me. They've got to win this one here.
And even Jim Boeheim said.
Unless they beat Nova at home, and they're capable of beating Nova at the Dome.
Coach Boeheim was talking with you before the game and said, as Mejia lets it fly and drops in another 3, Boeheim was saying that if they win tonight, they should be in, and they might be in anyway right now, and that could be true.
Well, Nova's a dangerous team for them to. But meanwhile, look at McNamara with this beautiful change of pace and a nice back cut.
And McCroskey getting the basket. McNamara, number 2 in the conference in assists.
When your man loses vision on you, cut to the rim. That's all McCroskey did, and that speaks to DePaul's youth right there.
DePaul 5 out of 9 from 3. Mejia missing there. He's got 11 points in the game, but DePaul gets another opportunity and a fresh shot clock.
I like that right there. When you drive that seam of the zone.
Jumper drops for Marcus Hurd. Everybody getting into it for DePaul. They got 24 points in 8.5 minutes, and this is only the 14th best offensive team scoring-wise in the Big East.
There's no quitting this DePaul squad.
They're very good athletes. Here's McNamara. Has not attempted a 3-point shot. Only taken 1 shot, and that was a layup, and he made it. Couldn't hit that one, but the tip goes for Gorman.
You know, he looks awkward and a bit herky-jerky, not unlike Jay. I like the thing with McNamara is he's got a lot of moxie to him, and he's got good body control for, you know, kids who surprisingly is not a great athlete.
You think he's an NBA player, Coach?
No, I don't. I do not think he'll make it in that league.
Just not big enough?
Well, not big enough, and although I will say this, number 1 in longevity in the NBA is big men. Number 2 is shooters. I tell you, they got to take those shooters out almost with body tags on them.
Another 3, this time Draylon Burns. He shoots less than 30% from 3. DePaul with 6
trend up on a shooter. Jim Boeheim is over there and minds him to get a hand up on a shooter. This could cause the Orangemen to go man-to-man.
We don't see that very often as Devendorf is fouled on the way to the hoop. Only the 2nd team foul on DePaul. What will Jim Boeheim do defensively, if anything, when we come back?
Is this the help desk?
Yes, it is.
We need help.
With what?
He's always
I understand. Farmer, designer, weaver, buyer, shipper, seller.
Yeah, what do you got?
You need a customized integrated real-time web portal.
What?
Age.
Perfect.
Who are you?
Shepherd.
Hot dogs and soda at the game, $16. Movie tickets and a popcorn, $22. Mints and a diet soda, $3.25. The new trick at the checkout line, priceless. For a whole new way to pay, MasterCard introduces PayPass. Cash.
Introducing Papa's new Perfect Pan Meats Pizza. Our golden pan crust, deep and square, piled with pepperoni, sausage, ham, and bacon, with a zesty new Robusto sauce. Try a large Perfect Pan Meats Pizza for just $12.99. $12.99. Call now or order at papajohns.com and we'll deliver.
Better ingredients, better pizza, and now a better pan. Papa John's.
Yeah, we got it.
Welcome back. DePaul is 6 out of 10 from 3 and has an 8 tap. It's time now for ESPNU's Pride of the Program. And in the spotlight, South Carolina. A lengthy career on the bench that seemingly didn't want to end. Legendary coach Frank McGuire's final game on the sidelines went into double overtime. Fittingly, the 3-time Coach of the Year got one more win. It was his 550th. More Pride of the Program features available on mobile ESPN. Well, Coach Majerus, the pride of this program here at DePaul, 92-year-old Ray Meyer. Longtime coach, Hall of Famer. I know you had a special Meyer, and you actually coached against him his final game here at the old Rosemont Horizon.
And when he came out for the game, He and the referees took pictures before the game. Let me underscore the word before the game. I knew it was going to be a long night. I was going to take it in the shorts, but he had the material, and he was a great coach. Imagine 4 decades. He invented the Mikan drill for George Mikan. It could have easily been called the Meyer drill. Ray was all about the post player, and yet he was a guard when he played at Notre Dame.
That was last touch there by DePaul, Soto Station.
And you know, in that pride of the program, you know who Wilt Chamberlain's favorite coach was? Frank McGuire. He said that was the best coach I had. A lot of people don't remember he coached the old 76ers. How about McNamara?
2 baskets now for Jerry McNamara. Syracuse within 6.
There's so many Irishmen here, I'm getting confused. I feel I'm in Dublin. I know there's Irish Alzheimer's. That he forgot everything at the end of his life but his enemies.
Coach Meyer, currently in an assisted living center, still wants to go to the Final Four, and wanted to go to a Duke practice. Mike Krzyzewski offered to get him there, but he just wasn't feeling well enough. As Mejia hits a 3 and a foul on Gorman. First on Gorman, second on Syracuse. How about DePaul? Their season high, coach, for threes in a game is 8. They've got 7 in the first half tonight.
And that's over a 6-foot shooter. Look at that. Unbelievable. It's one of those nights when it rains, it pours.
Sammy Mejia gets the free throw, and DePaul's up 10. Substitution for DePaul is Brumfield, the lone senior on this DePaul squad. It's his final game here at Allstate Arena. Comes back into the game replacing Thompson.
They are shooting with such great confidence. And we had talked about how that had their Achilles heel. Now they're going to an extended 1-2-2. No, boxing one on McNamara. They're playing a 2-2 zone, chasing McNamara.
A race for the ball. Devendorf hits the floor along with Burns, and it's going to go to DePaul.
Take a look at this effort right here. Drives, deflects. Look at these two. Even the coach of the Bears, Ditka, would have liked that one.
DePaul basketball with a 10-point lead.
Don't get exotic, fellas. Just keep it simple.
Syracuse has stayed in the zone. Does that surprise you?
No, because that's a staple of their defense. And they are not getting that good of shots. They're goal shots, for the most part, with a hand up on them.
A lot more college basketball for you coming Saturday. 2 key games in the Big East. Cincinnati still fighting for an NCAA tournament spot, taking on number 18 West Virginia at noon Eastern, followed by George Washington and Charlotte. Then DePaul, Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wins that game, Notre Dame is into the Big East tournament. If Notre Dame loses that game, it is out. Meanwhile, DePaul trying to win its final 2 games, including that game, and that would give the Blue Demons a chance at the Big East tournament. If they lose one of the final 2 games, they foul on Burns. That's his first, third on DePaul.
Jabari Curry shows you why it's difficult to play freshmen. He was so intent on following the dictate of the play, he threw the lob when it wasn't even there.
So Darrell Watkins will go to the free throw line. He's only a 50% free throw shooter. The rest of the team 58% outside of Jerry McNamara. McNamara 7th in the country. Syracuse last in the Big East.
You know, it's interesting. You and I were both here 2-3 hours early. When Syracuse came early, they do not have a shoot around the day of the game. They follow the Wilt Chamberlain mandate on that. I'm only coming over once. You know, they did not take very many foul shots. And there's a reason probably why they're not shooting such a good percentage. Now they're in a man-to-man extended press defense.
And they're able to get it in bounds to Brumfield. And then Nichols rips it out of his hands. And Brumfield will get called for the foul. That's his first. Make that 2 fouls on Brumfield.
That's the type of foul that drives a coach crazy. You know, he's got the steal. Why compound the problem by fouling the rim?
Here's McNamara, missed the 3. Roberts with the offensive rebound. Brumfield with a block. A lot of contact underneath. Now there's a call. So Brumfield picks up 3 fouls in 2 minutes. Brumfield, the only senior on this squad. He's from Chicago. 3 fouls in 11 seconds officially for Marlon Brumfield.
Just puts you in the bonus. That's what it does. And then gets that 2 count.
5 team fouls now on DePaul.
Here, the ball doesn't rise with his legs. He has imbalance in his shot relative to his upper and lower body. That's part of his fault. See, there's his legs. Now the ball rises, then his legs come up. Good foul shooters have an economy of motion to them, and that's his problem right there, Roberts.
McNamara goes to the bench. Josh Wright comes into the game for the first time.
Nice call by Coach Boeheim to put this press on.
Able to get it across to Chandler.
What a crossover step. What a pass.
Mejia's 3. Another one. DePaul has made its last 5 3-pointers.
This kid will end up being better than Tyrone Corbin. His basketball acumen for the draw and kick off the pass is excellent, particularly for a wingman. He's not a 1 and 2, he's a 3.
15 for Mejia, 11 for Clark. This shot by Demetrius Nichols. Barun draws the foul. 14 fouls now on Syracuse. First foul on Darrell Watkins. 34-23 DePaul. Let's check in with Reese Davis and a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
All right, Dave, just hours after the NFL owners seemingly threw up their hands and gave up, reaching a labor agreement extension with the players. They've extended the free agency deadline until midnight Eastern. Chris Mortensen reporting it's believed that management is going to offer another proposal to the players' union. Golf now in the Ford Championship at Doral. Tiger Woods has a 1-stroke lead over Phil Mickelson, same margin by which last year in this event. SportsCenter after the game, ESPN News, always.
At GMAC Real Estate, we don't sell dream houses. We sell houses to people with dreams. So before asking high-rise or Victorian, we ask about your goals, your needs, and then commit to serving your needs in writing. People like this so much, they've given our premier service agents an overwhelming 94% satisfaction rating. So who are you? We want to know. GMAC Real Estate. Service you deserve, people you trust.
The packages coming in from Shanghai today.
Yeah, Oracle, I know. 200 and 80 from Portland tomorrow morning.
What?
It's UPS. See, now I get a detailed report of all their shipments coming in.
Huh.
I've already notified production and alerted sales.
Well, I can't compete with that.
Yeah, that's why you're being reassigned to accounting. Oh, my stapler.
Brought to you by Toyota Scion of Goldsboro.
Every Sunday night, new episodes of Campus Ladies, Oxygen's original series that be a freshman.
We're your roommates. But you're ladies.
Plus, you can go to oxygen.com/campusladies to win a free Campus Lady shower gel.
I'm a hot nude lady.
And don't miss all new episodes of Campus Ladies Sunday nights on Time Warner Cable.
Watch Campus Ladies on Time Warner Cable Channel 55 Sunday nights at 10 p.m.
Already a bracketology as Syracuse right now is an 11 seed. That could change in a big way if they can't win the night. They're down 11, Coach.
We're going to see a box of 1 here on McNamara. Basically, it's a 2-2 zone. McNamara gives up the ball. You can see him played man-to-man by Curry right there, and everyone else falls to a 2-2 zone right there. And they get a deflection. They're taking away their best passer and best scorer. I wouldn't be surprised to see Syracuse revisit that, given that success on that possession.
Meanwhile, DePaul shooting 63% as you see McNamara on the bench getting a rest. And the Blue Demons have matched their season high for threes in a game. They've got 8 already in 12 minutes time, and they've missed only 4 of them. As Curry hits the first free throw, he's only a 53% shooter from the stripe.
And equally an astounding stat is the 11 assists to 3 turnovers. They're doing a good job with ball reversal and the and one pass.
Yeah, 12 made shots, 11 assists, and now DePaul with a little pressure.
Yeah, 2-2-1. John Wooden was here for that Raymeyer last game.
Swinging around to Devendorf, who has 9 points to lead Syracuse so far in the first half.
And they go zone.
Devendorf off with the 3. Rebound Curry. DePaul by 13 and looking for more. Mejia gets a look. Too strong. But last touch by Syracuse. Roberts couldn't get a handle on it. Well, Saturday night, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU all head down Tobacco Road to cover one of the storied rivalries, North Carolina and Duke. College basketball Saturday primetime presented by Cisco Systems on ESPN Full Circle. Which one are you going to watch, Coach? You going to watch the Cameron Crazies above the rim? Just the game?
I want the Krzyzewskiville cam. I want to see what happens there. I want the access and discovery of the Krzyzewskiville cam.
What did you think about his move last night, pulling his team
I thought
off
it
the
was
court?
smart. Why not? I thought it was a good move. I think it's a great question. There's where you want to go against the zone. You get the double dip. You go to the high, deployed behind the zone. That was outstanding. To me, that was the best possession in terms of deployment of the night. Only the bounce pass was too low.
McNamara back into the game. Big game for both teams. That's been the case in every Big East game this year. If Syracuse wins, gives it win number 20 and might wrap up the spot in the NCAA tournament. Loss could be very damaging as Roberts turns it over. Let's take a look at how to beat.
Well, you want to go inside at the block or you want to go inside at the high post. You want to draw 2 men to you by driving the seam. Then you've got them 4 on 3. You need to screen an area within the zone, and then the skip pass is always a good remedy for any type of a zone that overextends.
Syracuse now in a man as we have a whistle and a foul. And that's going to go on Devendorf. That's his first and the 5th on Syracuse. Those things you just talked about against the Syracuse.
They weren't looking at inside at all, but they were doing is they were hitting 3-pointers like they haven't all season. And God bless Mejia because he's feeling it tonight. Now we'll take a look at it. Back in the zone. See, they don't even look, give that low post guy a look. They don't face the rim. They're so intent. There you go, right there.
And Chandler hits the shot. Textbook, huh?
They were listening to us. It was a clinic, the coach.
15-point DePaul lead. Syracuse doesn't have a made field goal in the last 5 minutes. And that continues as Nichols is way off. He does not have a point yet in this game, and he's averaging 14 per game.
Syracuse has hung their heads a bit, I think, psychologically here without great outside shooting to DePaul.
McCroskey ahead to Nichols for the jam. Syracuse needs some kind of a spark this year offensively. And tonight, not shooting poorly, 46% from the floor, but they just can't stop DePaul right now.
They go man-to-man right now, and DePaul goes into its flex offense. Well, Ryan Karnes at Wisconsin calls it the swing. Tom Davis, Gary Williams.
Chandler misses. Watkins the rebound. McNamara ahead to McCroskey. Finds Roberts. Back-to-back field goals by the Orange with an 11 now.
And consecutive poor defense of stopping the ball, getting back, communication, and vision. Most of all, you've got to run back with vision.
And a 30-second timeout called by Jerry Wainwright. DePaul with an 11-point lead at home on Syracuse. 4:44 to go in the first.
What kind of kiss would you like? How about a free kiss from Earthlink? Get a free Kiss spyware scan to help kiss spyware goodbye. Visit earthlink.net for a free spyware.
If you were going to be with one of my friends, who would it be?
Introducing new high-endurance hair and body wash from Old Spice.
Tell me, I'm not going to be mad. I'm just curious.
The easiest way to get clean from head to toe. Don't you wish everything was this easy?
Dave Pasch back with Rick Majerus. Coach, let's look again at what DePaul is doing against that Syracuse zone.
Well, they're getting good ball movement. They have nice spacing, but watch how they're looking to go to that high post there. Set up with a pass fake, a beautiful arcing teardrop, and then they have the deployment inside by Brumfeld with the rebounding position.
12 assists on 13 DePaul field goals. And they're 8 of 14 from 3. Hurd. In and out. Chandler tried to chase it down, couldn't come up with it. Syracuse ball, a chance to cut the lead to single figures. McCroskey out of control. Curry takes it away. 2 on mark. Lays it in with a left. Jabari Curry having himself a first half. He's got 7 assists already.
I liked it because he made the simple play. He didn't complicate winning.
Here's McNamara. And he gets the 3 to drop. His first 3-point basket. He now needs 4 to tie the Big East record for threes in conference games. Roberts turns it over. Burns is fouled by Watkins. 2 on Watkins, 6 on Syracuse now.
You're going to see the Blue Demons playing D. Look at the deflection and the active hands as they level out the dribble. Watch Jabari Curry with a beautiful assist in transition.
What you got there?
Buck of noodles, 99 cents.
Man, you're smart. We wasted our 99 cents on these new buffalo snackers from KFC. Buffalo sauce, sesame seed bun. And to think, we could have had noodles. That's a good one.
The new 99-cent Buffalo Snacker from KFC. 100% chicken breast, authentic buffalo sauce, and crispy lettuce on a sesame seed bun. And like the original KFC Snacker, it's only 99 cents. Heat things up for under $1 at KFC.
Incoming email.
With OnStar Vehicle Diagnostics, your Chevy runs hundreds of diagnostic checks every month and emails you the results. It's like having a conversation with your vehicle.
Hey, you could talk like that. We should do it again.
There's no extra cost to eligible OnStar subscribers. Just press your blue OnStar button to sign up. Chevy, America's #1 brand, offers more vehicles with the peace of mind of OnStar.
Everybody's talking about how much they saved at Mark Jacobson Toyota. Listen to this.
Hey, hi, we're the Schultzes.
This is the second car we bought from Mark Jacobson Toyota for all the right reasons.
Hey, thank you, Mark.
We found the right car at the right price at
We love Mark Jacobson Toyota.
At Mark Jacobson Toyota, our customers save so much money that going anywhere else would be a doggone shame.
We came for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
Roadrunner High-Speed Online from Time Warner Cable is packed with incredible features and amazing extras, all moving at blazing fast speeds. So why let a dial-up connection hold you back? Go up to 100 with Roadrunner.
Call 1-866-4TWC now and get 6 months at $29.95 per month, plus free installation.
Roadrunner High-Speed Online from Time Warner Cable.
Fran Fraschilla coming up on the UPS Halftime Report. We'll show you the candidates for the best dunkers of the year and also tell you the kind of trouble that Memphis is in right now. Fran, what about our game?
Well, DePaul's 8 of 15 from the three-point line. I don't know if they can keep that up, but Syracuse is too low energy. That'll be a point of discussion at half.
All right, also at halftime, Chris Mortensen will check in with the latest on the NFL labor talks. That's all when you come back on the UPS Halftime Report, Dave.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the bottom 8 in the Big East Conference. DePaul has to win its final 2 games to even have a chance at being in the top 12, and those teams go to the Big East tournament. Louisville is in. Notre Dame wins against DePaul on ESPN, a game that you will do, and Notre Dame is in.
That Notre Dame DePaul game will be a terrific game for that. Although they didn't try to create this drama, the league has really created a nice niche for itself in terms of having this great bubble for the conference tournament. Imagine the conference tournament bubble drawing the attention that is drawn, but I do believe it's wrong. I really believe all teams should go to the conference tournament. They owe it first and foremost to the student athletes, and then secondly to the coaches. It's not right, and Boeheim and I were discussing that. He agrees with me 100%. Teams get to go to New York.
With how competitive the Big East is, that's a pretty big victory if Wainwright can get his team into the Big East tournament, isn't it?
Oh, no question about it. And it's 12 of the 16 teams, not 8. There's so many teams I can't remember them all. If you don't know what a conference a team is in out east, there's a good chance it's in the Big East.
Jim Boeheim even said before the game that this is the best the Big East has ever been. Last year between the Big East and Conference USA, they got 10 teams, and the Big East this year is better than the Big East and Conference USA combined was last year, but it's unlikely 10 teams will get in from the Big East.
I'm just amazed at how athletic all 10 guys on the floor are.
Roberts got fouled as he caught the pass. That's 16 fouls now on DePaul. You mentioned DePaul Notre Dame. That's at 4 Eastern on Saturday. Also available in high definition. Preceding that game, another one of the Big East, West Virginia, Cincinnati, George Washington, and Charlotte at 2 Eastern time. Syracuse, McNamara from inside the arc.
And that miss is indicative of why I don't think he's a great shooter. Great shooters never miss on the side of the rim. Great shooters, your Ray Allens, your Reggie Millers, they're always long. Your Reddicks, they're long off the back of the rim.
In his defense, though, he doesn't have the players around him that he did last year. He didn't have a Sheldon Williams,
and he doesn't have the experience around him. He's also saddled with having to play with a group of players. I couldn't agree with you more on that, but he still missed side of the rim last year.
Here's Burns. Hurd thought about the three. Burns will take the three. And even their misses are almost makes. They're shooting 50% from three. They've missed 5 in a row, but they've all been close. Syracuse hasn't been able to take advantage, though. McCroskey, high arcer, won't drop. Rebound. Chandler got it from McNamara. The jam for Clark and a foul on McNamara.
That's a big-time pass. That Chandler's going to end up being the best freshman out of all the Big East freshmen. He won't be freshman of the year. That's going to be Dominique James, and deservedly so. And I love Dominique James, but this Chandler's an all-pro guy in the club. He reminds me of Sean Marion, but he's got that jump shot. Forget about Tyrone Corbin. He's a better player than that almost right now.
Well, you were thinking of that's understandable with Tyrone Corbin.
In honor of the great coach Ray Meyer. Listening in and watching.
McNamara gets the foul. That's his first. How about Clark's numbers? 15 points. Only missed 2 shots from the floor. Missed the second free throw there. Clark averaging 9 points per game. He played in the Big East. He was at Miami of Florida, then transferred to DePaul. Sat out last year. He was actually heavily recruited by Syracuse. McCroskey way off with that shot. Ball. Here's Burns. And McCroskey gets the rebound. Chandler swats it out of there. Ahead to Mejia. Stripped by McNamara. It'll stay DePaul basketball.
Boeheim's confronting McCroskey right now. McCroskey's taking 2 bad shots, quick shots. Shots that are all about me rather than the Orangemen. Got to the Hall of Fame or had 30 years of longevity over there.
Coach, you mentioned Wilson Chandler earlier as one of your Big East candidates for Rookie of the Year.
Well, I think Chandler is going to be the best player. The Rookie of the Year is clearly Dominique James at Marquette. And what you want to do is take a look at this Chandler kid and remember it, because he's going to be a Sean Marion with a better jump shot. There's nothing that kid can't do. He can pass. He's an unbelievable. His body control, but best of all, the where, when of the pass, the passing decision, which you can't coach, is just simply superb. His passing acumen for a freshman is an A.
He's got 3 assists to go along with 4 rebounds and 5 points. Coach Wainwright brought him over to us at shoot-around today. Great kid. Did have some academic issues earlier in the season, and he sat out a couple of games. Couldn't get the shot up on the rim that time, and it's Syracuse.
Well, they take McCluskey out for ill-advised shots and quick shots.
McCroskey out, and Roberts gets blocked by Chandler. And the second time, he gets it to fall off the window with the left hand. Roberts with the basket. He's averaging 17 points per game over his last 2. That's only his second field goal tonight.
DePaul has to be careful here. How they close out this last minute and 10 seconds is going to be critical to the outcome of the game.
Nice cut. Chandler catches, scores over Roberts.
How about the catch? Forget about the shot, but the body control on the catch. That was a one-handed Lynn Swan catch.
7 points now for Chandler. 20-second difference between the game and shot clocks. Here's Diefendorf, and he's fouled by Curry. That's Curry's first.
Take a look at Chandler's catch right here. Watch him cut. Now watch him catch that. Look at that catch. How he hawks that ball in there and then plays through the contact. Down low, feels the opposition, spins the right way. Plays small to big with his head on the rim. I love that kid.
Diefendorf has now made 23 consecutive free throws. That's his first attempt in the last 5 games. He's the leading scorer for Syracuse with 10 so far in this one. What do the Orange have to do back into this game?
Conversion defense, better shot selection. They've got to get out to the long ball.
How about energy?
Energy would be yeah, that would be. I love your call right there. Energy and enthusiasm, the E&E quotient, E squared. That's a component that you almost always expect in coaching, and I don't know why a young team won't do that.
This is a huge game for Syracuse. If they win this game, they're probably in the NCAA tournament. They might be. Lenardi has them in as an 11 seed in his bracketology. If they lose this game, that can be very damaging, especially if it's a double-figure loss. And they have not lost in 3 years to a team with a losing record. Clark from the short corner. That's a tough shot, and he knocked it down.
Beautiful ball movement, great drive, draw, and kick, and exceptional spacing.
DePaul only averages 63 points a game. They got 48. And here's McNamara. Another blocked shot, this time by Hurd. And that'll end the half. Terrific first half for Jerry Wainwright. 8 threes, 48 points, well above their season averages. And the Blue Demons have a 14-point lead at home on Syracuse. Time now for the UPS halftime report. We go to the studio, Reese and Frank. Guys?
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Glad to have you along on the UPS halftime report. And that Syracuse zone, it's been cut up a few times this year, and DePaul's shooting certainly did the trick in the first half.
Oh, it really was. And I was a little surprised, really, with the lack of defensive energy by the Cuse in both the zone and the man-to-man defense because of what's at stake for Syracuse. DePaul came out red hot, attacked the zone from outside, was fool's gold a little bit early. Rick Majerus said it best. You don't want to have to rely on the 3 versus the zone, but tonight they have been from deep. This caused Syracuse to come out of that zone, but by the time they did, Reese, it was a little too late. DePaul right now really feeling it, and Cuse has to regroup at the half.
14-point lead for DePaul right now on Syracuse. Now, you know, as Rick was talking about in the first half, only the top 12 teams make it to New York for the Big East tournament. Louisville has made it. If Notre Dame beats DePaul on Saturday, the Fighting Irish are there. Of course, DePaul hoping to be able to slip in as well.
Oh, you're right. You got to be an accountant to figure this out. It's a little bit too complicated for me. I really think what Rick Majerus said was right. I think every team should go. Figure out a way to start the tournament a day early. I know it's hard. And I realize that you should give the top teams in the conference a bye, but I just think it's unfair, as hard as the league is, with as much pressure, Reese, as there is on the coaches, that you have teams that don't qualify for the tournament.
You know, talking to Boeheim a couple of weeks ago about that very thing, he said, you know, the result is going to be a guy doesn't make the Big East a couple of years in a row, he's going to lose his job. There's going to be a lot more turnover, and sometimes programs from becoming stable. Talk a little bit more hoops in a little bit, but first, the NFL labor situation, and the league has extended the free agency deadline by 3 days until midnight Sunday night. So as a result, the purging of high-priced veterans won't occur, at least not as quickly as anticipated. So what does this latest extension mean? It's where Chris Mortensen checks in.
There never could have been an extension unless the NFL Players Association and its executive director, Gene Upshaw, had signed off on it. And what a union source tells me is that on Thursday, somebody on management's side called and said, we are going to have another proposal for you. Can we get a delay? And Upshaw said, yes. So that gives them some time. That proposal, we don't know exactly what it is. Will it really solve this? It's 72 hours to get a deal done. And yes, that's enough time, but there are still issues between high revenue clubs and low revenue clubs, despite what you hear. But nevertheless, it's still alive. And any player that was told he was cut on Thursday remains alive with that team at least until 6.
And that 6 p.m. deadline refers to the time when the NFL teams have to be under the salary cap. These are the unrestricted free agents, hoping that whatever mechanism is put into place that they'll be able to get a large share of the pie. Still to come here on the UPS Halftime Report, we'll show you the candidates for the best dunkers of the year and when else on Throwdown Thursday. Rodney Carney, it's a couple of extra moments in halftime. He's playing his team against you. Candidates for the high risers who throw it down, and also the Big Ten Showdown. I don't know if Paul Davis is going to get best dunker. We'll show you why his team was able to step up against Bucky.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by OnStar by GM. To learn more, visit OnStar.com.
Incoming email. With OnStar Vehicle Diagnostics, your Chevy runs hundreds of emails you the results. It's like having a conversation with your vehicle.
Hey, I'm really glad we could talk like that. We should do it again.
There's no extra cost to eligible OnStar subscribers. Just press your blue OnStar button to sign up. Chevy, America's #1 brand, offers more vehicles with the peace of mind of OnStar.
Is there anything else I can bring you?
I know it's supposed to be. Yeah, sir, the job's taking longer than I expected. Shoot.
When?
I can't rush perfection.
We'll just try.
Will do, sir. He bought it.
Sweet of summer nights, gazing at the distant lights and dream of you.
Introducing mobile ESPN. Sports fans, your phone has arrived.
You're watching the UPS Halftime Report.
We are at the break. DePaul using some fine shooting from the perimeter. They have a 14-point lead to 8 triples in the first half. Earlier on Throwdown Thursday, Wisconsin and Michigan State. The I-Zone was rocking, trying to look Spartans who've been a little bit disappointing back on track. Shannon Brown rattling one home.
Shannon Brown, Davis, Ager, they remind me of Texas. They got 3 guys that can really carry you deep into a tournament. They got to play better defense.
That was Davis inside. He had 20 tonight, and Drew Neitzel going up top. Ooh. Shannon Brown, you're going to see plenty of that in a little bit.
Can we enter that one in the contest?
It might be a little late, but he's got some other candidates. Maurice Ager hitting the shot. Ager had 19, 74-65. Spartans had lost 7 of the previous 8 to the Badgers. Big Ten standings look like this. How about the Buckeyes? They win at home against Purdue. They're winning the regular season outright.
So hard to win on the road in that league, and they are 5-3 on the road, the Buckeyes. That's pretty good in a league where home courts are a big advantage.
All right, when you start spinning forward to the NCAA tournament now, I think Ohio State's been a little bit overlooked. People up talking about Illinois and D. Brown. How deep can this Buckeye team go in the tournament?
You know, we talked about Tennessee being a sleeper team early in the year and saying, hey, they got 4 guards and they could be dangerous in the tournament. Ohio State's the same way. Dials inside. You put guys like Foster and Lewis, those outside shooters around him. A dangerous team. They got a coach with tournament experience. I like this team. Could be interesting.
Yeah, they certainly have some experience there. And everybody's sitting around waiting on those freshmen to arrive next year.
Greg who?
The guys, well, let's not get carried away, Fran. I think they still want Greg Oden. You know, supposedly had one-shot deals to enhance their tournament resumes greatly, able to come through. Florida State and Texas A&M. UAB in a very similar situation against Memphis. Marvette McDonald finger roll.
Well, he's a guy that usually shoots it from deep. A heady move right there.
Darius Washington, a little penetration. Joey Dorsey there to flush it down at Bartow Arena in Memphis on the road, 28-22 lead. Schedule is awful. I mean, I don't know if one win's still going to get them in or not. They've got 13 wins against teams 190 and below in the RPI.
They win the SWAC. They win the SWAC.
Well, they did. They played a lot of teams in that conference, and teams in Conference USA drag you down a little bit right now, where they're sort of reinventing themselves after the realignment. What about Memphis? Played a great non-conference schedule, but they haven't really been challenged much in Conference USA.
You're right. This happened to Gonzaga 2 years ago when they went undefeated in the West Coast Conference. Memphis, I talked to John Calipari about this. He's been very conscious of the fact that they played a monster. And right now, they're basically playing an NIT-type schedule. But he has had a lot of practices this year where he scrimmaged his best players against each other because he knows he has to stay sharp come tournament time. Remember, this team is 11-0 on the road, so they're used to playing, at least if not tough teams in that conference, places at hostile environments.
And they're experiencing that at Bartow Arena right now. They've got a big sellout crowd. It's been raucous. Tries past Memphis there in Birmingham, a game going on ESPN2. Still to come here on the UPS Halftime Report, we've got some great dunks to show you. The best of Throwdown Thursday, the Throwdown Showdown. Who is the best dunker of the year? You'll have a chance to cast your vote.
This halftime report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Dzisiaj przyjdą twoje nowe łyżwy?
Tak, gdybym mógł przyjechać w taką pogodę.
Na pewno przyjedzie.
Śnisz niemożliwe.
Złoży się o śniadanie. Fantastyczne! Mówiłem ci, dawaj śniadanie.
The most reliable color on earth. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
You think plans. Office Depot thinks patience. Office Depot thinks laptops. You think how to build your business. Office Depot thinks how to supply it. And now through Saturday, get $5 off your next purchase at Ink Depot when you return an empty ink or toner cartridge for recycling. You take care of business. Office Depot takes care of you.
Taking care of business.
She turned around and left the cave, and I'm standing there by the pool of water alone, like I am in all of my dreams. And it just brought that...
Tym piórze nie ma atramentu.
What?
I wtedy możemy zacząć dopiero pracować.
Using a broker you can't understand doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones speaks in a language you can understand, so financial decisions get the attention they deserve. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Introducing Papa's new Perfect Pan Meats Pizza. Our golden pan crust, deep and square, rich ham and bacon, with a zesty new Robusto sauce. Try a large Perfect Pan Meats Pizza for just $12.99. $12.99. Call now or order at papajohns.com and we'll deliver.
Better ingredients, better pizza, and now a better pan. Papa John's.
I was upside down. Me too.
I'm State Farm Agent Edmund Nelson, and this is a true story.
Mommy broke the car.
Thankfully, only the car broke.
We've shown her how at a State Farm Child Safety Day.
It saved their lives.
By educating parents, conducting research, and helping to pass stronger safety laws, we've doubled the proper use of safety restraints and saved the lives of kids.
Like mine.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the UPS Halftime Report.
Atlantic Sun tournament underway. East Tennessee State against Gardner-Webb. Gardner-Webb down. Player ever out of Gardner-Webb, Franny.
John Drew.
There you go. Until Tim Jennings tipped that one in for the winner, and Gardner-Webb goes on. They'll get Lipscomb in the next round. They win it by 1. Time to throw it down on Thursday. John Drew had the great game. He couldn't throw it down like the dunker of the year. We asked you on ESPN.com, Sports Nation, who is the dunker of the year? You had these guys to choose from: Carney, Petway, Tucker, Brown, or Gay. Shannon Brown, Michigan State. You concur with the people's assessment?
I go with the people's choice.
You're a man of the people. 35% of the vote, nearly 30,000 voted. We got a second half to go from the greater Chicagoland area. Draylon Burns inside against Syracuse. Way too easy for the Blue Demons in the first half against the Orange. They're up 14.
This halftime report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
What kind of kiss would you like? How about a free kiss from Earthlink? Get a free Kiss spyware scan to help kiss spyware goodbye. Visit earthlink.net for a free spyware scan today.
Gas meets electric. High performance meets low emissions. You can drive 2 cars, or 1 without compromise. Introducing the luxury hybrid, the Lexus RX 400h. Gives more to the driver, takes less from the world.
J.D. Power & Associates just ranked T-Mobile highest in overall customer satisfaction in all 6 regions across the nation.
America's most satisfied
T-Mobile, get more service.
What you got there? Buck of noodles, 99 cents.
Man, you're smart. We wasted our 99 cents on these new buffalo snackers from KFC.
100% chicken breast, buffalo sauce, sesame seed bun.
And to think, we could have had noodles.
That's a good one.
The new 99-cent buffalo snacker from KFC. 100% chicken breast, authentic buffalo sauce, and crispy lettuce on a sesame seed bun. And like the original KFC snacker, it's only 99 for under $1.
At most banks, free checking is just plain checking. At Wachovia, it's paying bills online even when you're out of town. It's rewards points for groceries, gas, smoothies. It's a daily email showing you your account balance. And it's 5,000 ATMs, all free. That's extra free checking at Wachovia. How satisfied are you with your bank?
Wachovia, rated #1 in customer satisfaction 4 years in a row.
You deserve more. You deserve something fresh, like your choice of a meatball marinara or cold cut combo from Subway restaurants. Oh yeah, it's an awesomely delicious regular 6-inch sub on your choice of freshly baked bread, served toasted or untoasted, piled high with tasty veggies, and you can have it all for just $1.99. Dine in or get it to go. It's your choice of meatball marinara or cold cut combo regular 6-inch from Subway restaurants. Just make sure you get yours today. Subway, eat fresh.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection. And Jordan, let your game speak.
And welcome back to Chicago, where DePaul has a 14-point lead on Syracuse. That's a season high for points in the first half for the Blue Demons. Dave Pash back with Rick Majerus. Well, everybody who started that game contributed for DePaul. 15 points for Mejia, 17 Curry, but Wilson Chandler was the star in that first half, Coach, for DePaul.
He does all of what people refer to as the little things, but I was going to show you why this guy is going to be a great player. Look at that jump shot and the catch. How about this block shot? And then see him get out and sprint around the floor. Look at those hands. And then he plays through the finish with body contact. And the superb pass in transition. Kid's got the total package. There's nothing he can't do. And as he becomes a better shooter, he's destined to be a star. Certainly in the Big East and on the NBA level as well.
16 assists for DePaul on 17 field goals. They missed their last 5 3-point attempts, yet they still were 8 out of 17. Great numbers across the board for Chandler in the first half. Big game for both teams. If DePaul wins its final 2 games, it still has a chance to go to the Big East tournament. Syracuse tonight to secure an NCAA tournament berth.
Or beat Nova at home, which is going to be a tough chore for a team that zones against 4 of the best shooting guards in America as a quadrant.
And even though Syracuse's strength of schedules in the top 10 of the RPI very good, the committee looks awfully hard at the last 10 games, and Syracuse has struggled in their last 10 games, 4-6. If they were to lose here tonight, That would be huge because it'd be a team. And their record against the RPI top 50 isn't great either.
I think you've called it right from the start, Dave. You said it. If they win this game, I believe they'll be in. If they win the Villanova game, they're definitely in. If they lose these two, it's going to be a Maylocks Sunday for these guys.
Foul was on Wilson Chandler, his second. First on DePaul in the half. 1 out of 2 at the line for Terrence Roberts. Leading scorer for Syracuse in the first half. Start the second half. Do you like this call by Boeheim?
Yeah, because it energizes them and gives them some kind of purpose.
Went off the foot of Clark. They got to get it across. They do with about 2 seconds remaining before the violation.
Before the start of the half, the Syracuse players had a little only players meeting there for about 2 or 3 minutes. They should have had it before the game, and now they're trying to play catch-up ball.
They just don't have the offense they've had in the past. And back from big deficits is Lorenzo Thompson, who averages less than a point per game, is getting into the act. It's a 15-point DePaul lead that matches its largest of the game. Devendorf going one-on-one, and he cannot score with a left hand. Roberts to McNamara for 3. Nichols, and he sticks it back through.
Here's our guy, Chandler. Look at the change of pace.
Here's Mejia. Nobody picked up Mejia, and he hit the short jumper.
And it all began with Chandler's penetration, hesitation, dribble, draw, and kick. That guy's passing acumen belies his years. He passes that ball like a senior guard out there rather than a freshman.
He had 26 against Seton Hall coach in the last game. He had 6 dunks in the first half alone.
He had 20-some rebounds at Dayton early in the year. At Dayton on the road.
DePaul has some good wins. As Watkins misses, Thompson with a rebound. DePaul, UAB, Wake, Cal, Notre Dame. And when they beat Wake, the Demon Deacons were ranked. Here's a foul on Syracuse. That's the first and a half.
They beat Cal at Cal, who's playing for a share of first place in the Pac-10. You've got 3 extraordinarily strong conferences this year, with the Big East, the ACC, and the Big Ten. And then you've got the 3 BS weak conferences led by the Pac-10, which is very mediocre. Then you've got the Big 12 and the SEC. I'd put the Big 12 as 4, the SEC as 5. Matter of fact, Mountain West is better, I think, in my opinion, than maybe the Pac-10.
Foul was on McNamara. That's his second. First on Syracuse and a half.
What a nice stroke he's got. And he learns to get his legs into a shot and not jump so high. Chandler's going to become a great 3-ball shooter.
He leads DePaul in scoring in conference games. Devendorf missing. Roberts with the offensive rebound. Back up and off. Rebound Mejia to 17 points. And perhaps counting. This doesn't look like a team that is playing an important game in terms of NCAA tournament, right? The Syracuse?
Nope, it looks like a CYO club from up in the Finger Lakes region that's in a tournament and going to go out and have a beer or so after the game or something. I don't think they've got to play like with their backs to the wall.
That's been a familiar look from Coach Boeheim tonight, one of bewilderment at his team's lack of energy. And again, out of 6 from the floor this half.
Lack of maturity, particularly along all those baseline players. And as much energy as Devendorf brings to the offensive end, he's got to do a better job in that zone of getting out to a wing and bumping coverage like right there.
Shot clock at 4. Mejia gets the roll. Sammy Mejia having himself a ball game. He's got 19 points already.
He's got a great middle game.
Mentioned he had 30 earlier this season. Nichols off and rebound by Curry. DePaul could blow this thing open, Coach, early second half.
Well, 19 points. They're already running away with it. Look at the Syracuse bench. I mean, just the faces on the players and the coaches.
Chandler driving. Gets another one. Lead at 21 for DePaul. And a timeout called by Jim Boeheim. 8-0 run by the Blue Demons. We mentioned Syracuse's lack of energy from the players and the fans here tonight.
Doubleheader action Sunday on ABC.
There's no money here. There's no money.
No money.
Where is it?
Somewhere safe.
This is the safe.
Somewhere safer.
Safer? How?
Hardware encryption, smart cards, you know, digital security.
Who are you?
I'm from the help desk. Who are you?
Cleaning crew? This place is a mess.
What shape will the alternative vehicle of the future take? Will it be roomy? Will it run cleaner, yet more powerfully? It will, if it's the world's first luxury hybrid, the Lexus RX 400h, the first vehicle of the future you'll want to drive today.
This is Gary Poole, a genial guy from Trenton, New Jersey. Gary's been married for almost 10 years, but until a recent trip to McDonald's, didn't know it. Gary had fresh brewed premium roast coffee with his McGriddles, and it was like he was seeing her for the very first time.
He had no idea we were married.
So it was okay.
It's like we're newlyweds all over again.
Start your morning with richer, bolder premium roast coffee and add a warm, tasty McGriddles. Wake up and smell your life.
I hope there aren't any other wives.
As we go inside the play coach, or rather inside the head of Jim Boeheim.
You're going to see Watkins come out of the game here at the timeout. Look at Boeheim. A picture says 1,000 words. Scotty, beam me up.
Again, such an important game for Syracuse. If it loses this game, it would damage hopes of going to the end of question. If a team loses by 20 points, and we got a lot of time left, but if they lose by 20 points on the road, are they one of the top 34 at-large teams?
And by the way, DePaul revisits an old friend, the boxing one. Nice call by Wainwright out of the timeout.
But he on the floor out hustles two Syracuse players, and the Blue Demons have numbers. Curry, beautiful feed, Chandler hanging, and he is fouled. Foul on Roberts, his first, and the second on Syracuse in the half.
Take a look at this right here. Watch Chandler attack that glass, go up. Tremendous body control. This kid's fearless.
Now, you were talking in the first half how you would love to see all 16 teams go to the Big East tournament. When you see a performance like this out of DePaul, I think a lot of people would agree with you, because here's a Blue Demon team that still has to win tonight, win Saturday to go to New York, and they're playing well, and Jerry Wainwright said as much today.
And you can see how much the season means to these guys. They've just been a young team. Let's see if they go back to the boxing one again. They go to the 2-2-1 press, and they're trying to take McNamara, the heart and soul, out of the club.
Watkins, throws it down after he worked Chandler on the baseline. That's going to cut the lead to 21. DePaul has scored in all 6 of its possessions. Nobody picks up Burns, but he missed. Clark with a rebound. And then Hurd unable to handle the pass. But once again, Burns gets the loose ball and drops it through.
It's all Blue Demon, all effort, all energy, all unselfishness. The Syracuse team owes it to this kid right here, McNamara, to come out and play with great heart, because that's what that kid's played with throughout his career.
This is a young DePaul team, 65% of their points by freshman. Evendorf hits a much-needed three-point basket. He's got 14, the only orange in double figures.
Mirror images of each other in youth. It's an all very young Syracuse baseline team, and then Evendorf, the backcourt freshman running mate.
Yeah, McNamara and Gorman, the only seniors. It's going to be senior day Sunday at Syracuse against Villanova. Guess how many buses are coming up from Scranton for Jerry McNamara's final game with the Carrier Dog?
20.
Hurd gets the dunk as McNamara goes down.
Oh my God, 64 buses
from Scranton.
Good for him. He plays hard. The game means a lot to him. He has great passion.
And here he gets the shot off the window. Only 9 points in the game for McNamara.
I'd go back to that boxer one, coach. You had not let him get started.
And DePaul really without a true point guard. Handling the pressure well. Missed alley-oop there. Chandler thought he was fouled. Ahead to Rock.
That's complicating winning right there. They went for style points. They could have had just a simple layup or flushed it down. They went for the high-rise dunk.
But again, relative ease in breaking the pressure. Jabari Curry is their point guard, but he only averages 2.5 assists per game, and that leads the team. But again, 19 assists in the game. Make that to 21 assists in the game for DePaul. How about 22 assists as Hurd hits another 3. That's 9-3 for DePaul.
And he is playing superb all-around game, but he's done a good job on now he just signaled the coach he wants to come out. He's beat. I like that. He has the maturity to say, look, I'm covering the ace, McNamara. I've got to have fresh blood, fresh legs.
Devendorf missed the triple and then a foul on Nichols. His second, third on Syracuse. DePaul trying to blow out the Orange in Chicago. It's a 21-point game.
Tonight on SportsCenter, 2 owners take it to OT as their new agreement. The best in the West collide. Can San Antonio pull even with Dallas? Plus Johnny Damon's debut in pinstripes. SportsCenter after the game.
This is MSG. We call it the Garden. My brother's about to do something that a lot of people don't get a chance to do.
The Pro Scouts made me a little uneasy.
ESPN Original Entertainment presents the defining year of Sebastian Telfair, Through the Fire. Premieres Sunday, March 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Gas meets electric. High performance meets low emissions. You can drive 2 cars, or 1 without compromise. Introducing the luxury hybrid, the Lexus RX 400h. Gives more to the driver, takes less from the world.
J.D. Power & Associates just ranked T-Mobile highest in overall customer satisfaction in all 6 regions across the nation.
America's most satisfied customers are with T-Mobile.
Get more service.
What's the difference between 10:30 a.m. and 10:31 a.m.? 365,000 very obsessive people. UPS delivers more packages on time than anyone.
Junior Banana Split. Sonic's got it, others don't. The big taste of pineapple, chocolate, and strawberry in a smaller size. All for just 99 cents. Sonic's Junior Banana Split. And now swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
If you were going to be with one of my friends, who would it be?
Introducing new high-endurance hair and body wash from Old Spice.
Tell me, I'm not going to be mad. I'm just curious.
The easiest way to get clean from head to toe. Don't you wish everything was this easy?
Saturday night, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU all head down Tobacco Road to cover one of college basketball's most storied rivalries. Tar Heels and Blue Jays. College basketball Saturday primetime presented by Cisco Systems on ESPN. Full Circle at 9 Eastern. It's also available in high definition on ESPN HD. You can watch the game on ESPN, above the rim cameras on ESPN2, or watch it with the camera crazies on ESPNU. Or do all 3, Coach.
I'm going to do all 3. I got a 3-way hookup, and I really mean that.
They were looking at Sammy Mejia. They're working on his back earlier. Now they're working on his left leg. DePaul set this half. That was during the timeout, working on the low back of Mejia. Clark ahead of the pack. Syracuse fell asleep. Baseball pass for the jam, and it's a 23-point DePaul lead.
Syracuse has been on Ambien all night. Let me tell you that right now.
Season high 23 assists for DePaul. Jam by Watkins for the Orange.
3-on-2.
Curry into the lane, feeds up and in.
Nice decision by the freshman. Reminds me of Jarrell McNeil, another great freshman for the Marquette team.
21 now for Karan Clark. If you were putting together your field of 65 based on what you've seen from Syracuse here tonight, would the Orange be in or out, Coach?
The only reason they'd be in is my admiration and respect for Jim Boeheim.
Another jam, this time by Marcus Hurd. 25-point DePaul lead. There's one problem, though, Coach. The committee doesn't consider that when they look at the teams, or at least they tell us they don't.
And as well they should.
It'll be interesting, especially if this continues here tonight, based on the final score, as Dievendorf gets fouled, whether Syracuse is in or out. And this game could be costly if it continues this way. Although if the Orange could somehow bounce back and beat Villanova Sunday at home, that would get them in.
I understand the errors of commission, but I don't understand when you come out, you're lethargic, you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and Bernie Fine over there. You represent a great institution. Why you won't want to come here and play your butt off?
They're 4-7 in their last 11 games.
There's Bernie Fine, the great assistant to Jim Boeheim. The woulda, coulda, shoulda. That guy should have been a head coach a long time ago. He's a master of zone defense, a confidant to Coach Boeheim. Superb recruiter.
And I think if given the opportunity, Coach Fine would still want to be a head coach. Presented itself. Obviously, he has great security at Syracuse, but the former team manager and longtime colleague of Jim Boeheim would jump at an opportunity if it were the right one.
Well, someone should give it to him, because I'll tell you what, that guy can coach him up.
12-minute mark. Hurd can't hit, got it back, and then swatted out of there by Watkins, but Burns. And the tip by DePaul, winning every facet of the game here tonight. And a great play defensively by Chandler, ahead to Curry for the dunk.
Break up the Blue Demons. Last time I saw a crowd this excited, they were giving away chalupas or shutouts or something.
Foul was on Curry. That's his third, and the third on DePaul in the half. It is a 28-point DePaul lead. Let's check in now with Reese Davis and a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
All right, Dave, absolute demolition going on there. The NFL has extended the deadline for free agency until midnight Sunday night. Chris Mortensen reporting this result of management saying that they wanted to come up with another proposal in hopes of getting a new collective bargaining agreement. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson among the field squaring off at Doral. A shot, that's the edge he has on him after one round. SportsCenter after the game, back to the game after this.
Tonight on SportsCenter, two owners take it to OT as their new hope for an NFL agreement. The best in the West collide. Can San Antonio pull even with Dallas? Plus Johnny Damon's debut in pinstripes. SportsCenter after the game.
Man, you got to try this grilled pineapple sauce.
Try the Kung Pao.
Make way, watch out. What's up, guys? Hey, don't mind if I do. Woo.
Nice, man. That was the Kung Pao sauce for my shrimp.
Dip into flavor in a whole new way with Friday's new Flavor Shots Grill. Pick an entree in your choice of either sweet or spicy Flavor Shots Grill dipping sauces. Everyone could use more Fridays.
On Selection Sunday, who's in?
That is going to be the most compelling region.
Who's out?
That is not.
With Reese, Digger, Jay, and Dickie V. Bracketology, Sunday, March 12th, beginning at 5 on ESPN.
It may start with a look. It may start with the sound. It may start with the feel. It may start with the drive. Or it may just start with the price. The new 2006 C230 Sport Sedan, starting at $29. How will it start for you?
It's the biggest night in Hollywood.
And the Oscar goes to?
This year, experience all the glamour, excitement, and surprises of the 78th Academy Awards in high definition. See every shining star and hear every magical moment in amazing widescreen digital picture and sound. Roll the red carpet right into your living room. An easy HD upgrade is one call away. Watch the 78th live Sunday, March 5th in high definition on ABC HD with Time Warner Cable.
Throwdown Thursday presented by IBM. 11 field goals this half by 7 different players for DePaul as we go inside the play.
Take a look at Chandler on the drive. What a beautiful play for a freshman. There you see Hurd get it back up. How about Burns coming in to get that loose ball? Hurd tips again. all about energy, effort. Right there, that sums up the night for the DePaul Blue Demons.
Coach, there's from the field in the second half. McNamara, too strong. Offensive rebound and stick back by Andy Routens, son of Syracuse great Leo Routens, just a freshman from Janesville, New York. Now that is not your eyesight. It is really a 26-point DePaul lead.
And what Coach Bam has said is, hey, take your big reps and all your athletic ability to the bench fellows. I'm playing because at least they'll come and give us energy and effort.
We have a turnover on DePaul. Again, a big game for Syracuse. If the Orange lose this game and lose it handily, that could seriously damage, if not crush, their NCAA tournament hopes. DePaul has to win today and then beat Notre Dame Saturday on ESPN to even have a chance to even go into the Big East tournament. And right now, DePaul's the better team. At least that's what they're showing here tonight. Routen's missing, but a second chance as Watkins gets the rebound. Deep. And here comes Mejia. Last touch by Syracuse. Clark with 21, Mejia with 19, 13 for Chandler, 11 for Hurd.
25 assists to 5 turnovers.
Wow.
A 5-to-1 team assist to turnover ratio. Talk about trusting the pass, sharing the ball.
We mentioned beat Cal, beat Notre Dame. When Wake Forest was ranked, beat them on the road. Beat UAB, an NCAA tournament bubble team. Beat Creighton, another bubble team. They lost to Bucknell, another bubble team. And that was a close loss. Well, we mentioned that DePaul Notre Dame game on Saturday. We've got a couple other games for you on ESPN. West Virginia, Cincinnati at noon, followed by George Washington and Charlotte.
I was asking Chuck Swenson, the terrific Michigan assistant coach, why they didn't recruit the kid from Benton Harbor. Had recruited him, Chandler, and he said, well, one time we called him and he was at the Cubs game. That wasn't a very good sign for us.
Yeah, he knew he was coming to Chicago. Mejia up and in with the left hand.
Mejia's played so well tonight.
This is going to be an exciting team down the road. They start 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores. And Mejia is only a junior. Watch out for this team next year, right?
Yes.
From way out, Devendorf with a rebound. Routens can't hit the wide open 3. It'll go to DePaul.
I'd like to have seen Robertson and company with a little bit more energy for their teammates when Coach Boeheim put them down there.
Syracuse has not lost to a losing team in 3 years, and they're down 28, and their largest margin of 2 points. They haven't lost by more than 20 since being blown out by Connecticut 2 years ago.
McNamara comes out for a well-deserved rest. It's almost as if they're resigned to defeat right now. Would you say that that's the posture of the Syracuse players, their body language? And
even Chandler is getting into the act from 3-point line. That's 10 threes for DePaul and a 30-second timeout called by Syracuse. Syracuse likely in the 8-9 game of the Big East tournament, probably against Cincinnati. Does this defeat, if that's what it turns out to be, right now it's a 31-point deficit, help Cincinnati and help Seton Hall?
I think Seton Hall has to beat West Virginia at home Saturday. Otherwise, they've got 3 consecutive losses. They're going to have a low seed in the conference tournament and almost inevitably have a good chance to lose that game. I think Seton Hall doesn't need. The problem with Seton Hall is the low RPI at 57 relative to the other 2, but their record against the top 50 at 4-4 to me puts them in good stead. Of these 3 right now, given the way Syracuse is playing at this moment, I'm giving my bid to Seton Hall. What about yourself?
I don't know, Coach. Cincinnati, if it can get the win against West Virginia, I think that gets the Bearcats in. It's disgusted with what's happened here tonight.
I agree with that.
If you look at the body of work over the course of the year for Syracuse, you still can make a case for them, but this is such a bad loss. It's late in the year. It's on the road against a team with a losing record. It's hard to say they're one of the best at-large teams in the country. And meanwhile, Seton Hall has played better since conference play started, and they beat Syracuse, and they have a better record than them. They play a big game against Pitt tomorrow night as Clark buries a 3, and it's a 34-point lead.
Chandler's improvement, his ability to elevate and decide in the air, his unselfishness, and his basketball IQ.
Yeah, here's the other thing, Coach. Let's say Syracuse doesn't get in, and Seton Hall doesn't get in. That means from the Big East, you only have 7 teams. And Jim Boeheim told us earlier, you could make a case for 10. So does that impact the committee at all? If they're looking and they say, wait, we only got 7 Big East teams, we need to fit another one in here.
The charge of the committee is this: give us the best 34 at-large teams, and you know, you can't help it if you're in. And you look at the DePauls and the Northern Iowas and the Creightons and the Wichita States. You can only play guys that'll play you. So if they can't play out of league to up their RPI. Now, I would say this: if those teams competed in the Big East, there wouldn't be a one of them, in my estimation, that would finish in the top 6 in this league right here.
There are a lot of games last night, like Texas A&M winning, Florida State winning. They may have hurt some of those mid-major teams, but this perhaps loss, probable loss here tonight, again, they're down 34 with 8 minutes to go, means maybe you get one back. That maybe you help some of those mid-major teams tonight.
I agree with you. That's a great analysis on your part. It's going to be all hands on deck for the Orangemen Sunday. It's senior night for a great Warrior, McNamara, a kid I like. I like his moxie, his spunk.
The record crowd on hand for that game, but you wonder if you can't stay within 30 at DePaul, how are you going to beat Villanova, even if McNamara hits the 3?
He absolutely will not quit, McNamara.
DePaul shooting 60% from the floor, over 50% from 3. They got 29 assists a season high, 11 made threes a season high, make it 12 as Burns hits another one. DePaul's got 90 points. They average 60 on the year. This is one of the worst offensive teams in the Big East, Coach, and they got 90 points, and they're going to get well over 100.
It's part DePaul. Let's not take anything away from their performance and their unselfishness and their energy, and it's part Syracuse's complacency.
Syracuse getting smoked on the road by 36 to DePaul. Back in a moment.
You the help desk? What seems to be the problem, officer? Traffic. Traffic? Traffic. What do you need? What do you got? I got wireless sensors and congestion flow modeling. What'll it do? Cut down traffic. Will it work? Works. Nice work. Just doing my job. Have a nice day.
A cool head.
Is there paper?
And a new copier. $2,500.
Dinosaur. Dedication.
And a coffee maker. $69.
A sense of humor.
And a mop. $17. Having what it takes to run a business? Priceless. To see what the MasterCard business card can do for your business, visit our website.
What you got there?
Buck of noodles, 99 cents.
Man, you're smart.
We wasted our 99 cents on these new buffalo snackers from KFC.
100% chicken breast, buffalo sauce, sesame seed bun.
And to think, we could have had noodles.
That's a good one.
The new 99-cent buffalo snacker from KFC. Vinegar buffalo sauce and crispy lettuce on a sesame seed bun. And like the original KFC snacker, it's only 99 cents. Heat things up for under $1 at KFC.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help.
Much tighter game going on ESPN2. Memphis and UAB. Maurice gets 6 3-pointers all year. Knocks one down there. The Blazers close the half on a 26-7 run, trying to hand Memphis its first Conference USA loss and maybe damage their hopes of a 1 seed. It's going on ESPN2 there at the half now, guys.
So that could be big for UAB if the Blazers can beat Memphis. Meanwhile, Syracuse's chances of going to the NCAA tournament being severely damaged. DePaul's just trying to get into the Big East tournament, Coach, and they still have to win against Notre Dame on Saturday to even have a chance of going.
And as you and I discussed during the break, This speaks volumes to the quality of this league, that a team like DePaul could play this well at night, this late in the year, this well tonight, this late in the year, and not be afforded a tournament berth. I believe that if you're in the league, you should get to go to the tournament and structure to protect your top 4 seeds.
Well, how about Notre Dame? They're on the bubble for the Big East tournament. They're 5-10. You've done a lot of their games, and think how close they've been in just about every Big East game.
I know. This is a monster. The only weak sister is South Florida.
Yeah, they're the only team that has no chance of still going to the Big East tournament. Louisville is locked up a bid, or so to speak, in the Big East tournament as Burns hits another 3. That is 13 DePaul threes, and Burns has 15 points. One of 5 Blue Demons in double figures.
Traylon Burns out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Coach, it's 4. I mean, this is a shock, absolute shock to anybody watching college basketball. There were some that thought that Syracuse would handle DePaul easily on the road tonight, and they're down almost 40.
It's a shock to me, I'll tell you that.
Another 3. This time it won't go. And Brumfield with a rebound. I think the biggest shock is the lack of a sense of urgency out of Syracuse.
Right. You got to bring your A game relative to effort. That's what this league is about. That's what Syracuse is over the years. That's why Coach Boeheim's in the Hall of Fame.
Meanwhile, DePaul has made just about everything it's put up, shooting close to 80% in the half. It continues. Hurd scores, and he's fouled. DePaul might score 120 by the end of this game.
They look like the Phoenix Suns. Beautiful shot fake, drive, finish.
Hurd averages 3 points per game, and he's got 13 tonight. Here's Rollins, and he connects from 3-point land.
Don't tell me there's nothing to Gene Poole. He rolls his wrist to his right just like his dad did. He so much resembles his famous father, Leo Rollins, former Orangeman.
Jerry Wainwright is the first year at DePaul, taking over for Dave Lato, left for Virginia. Wainwright with a very young team, and they have put up 95 points on a team that was playing for its NCAA tournament life. As Wright gets the basket for Syracuse, 36-point deficit.
McNamara, that left-handed pass is such an accomplished passer for so much of scoring. It's a shame that they didn't have a point guard that he has to play with a freshman in the backcourt who can't really get shots for him, especially the way he moves so well without the ball.
Burns red hot in the second half, now has 17 points in the game. Coach, if you had to pick a coach of the year in the Big East, and that's hard to do, who would you pick?
I'm going to tell you honestly who I'd take. I would take the Notre Dame coach,
Mike Ray.
He has kept the ship afloat, played through adversity, heartache. He's had just about every reason for that team to full 10th. Crean's done a terrific job at Marquette. I can't say enough about Villanova and how they play.
Hard not to give it to Jay Wright, even though there were high expectations for Villanova.
Yeah.
You look at what they've done without Sumter this year. Free went for McNamara on the other end. Answer. Hurd with the offensive rebound and the putback. 99 for DePaul.
The Big East is such a great rebounding league.
Isn't that Big East tournament going to be fun next week?
Oh,
McNamara hits a 3. I mean, couldn't you see Louisville going and winning the Big East tournament?
No, I can't see that happening. Because Palacios is a wounded duck. They're 5 mans down for the season. Paget. Taekwon Dean can't carry them. No, they can't. I'd like to tell you that if we're promoting it, but I'm a journalist.
I'd rather be honest. Syracuse has not allowed 100 points in 14 years until now. First time since '92 they've given up 100 points.
Everybody should get a free Gold Coast dog.
McNamara too strong. Roberts the rebound. Fouled by Hurd. They love Chicagoland. DePaul putting on a show tonight.
Disciplined investing. It's not about following the crowd. At T. Rowe Price, our independent research means we're not deceived by every market ripple, and we don't chase every fad. For each 1, 5, and 10-year period, 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully.
Robbery, hostage situation. Till I talk to them, they get nothing, not even a cup of coffee.
On March 24th.
One jumbo jet with full gas tank and pilots. Whoever heard of bank robbers escaping on the planes? It does not add up.
Never judge a crime.
There are matters here that are a little bit above your pay grade.
By its cover.
This thing stinks to high hell.
Denzel Washington, Clive Owen, and Jodie Foster.
They heard everything we said. They bugged us. Keep your man back.
Inside Man.
This ain't no bank robbery.
Rated R. Starts March 24th.
I was helping a truck, and he said, "Don't forget, I can deduct my union dues." And I said, "Not only your dues, you can deduct your logbooks, your seat cushions, motel bills, truck washing costs, truck loading and unloading fees, and possibly your cell phone." And he looked at me and he said, "You do this for all your clients?" And I said, "No, just for anyone who works for a living."
The maximum refund guaranteed, or your return is free. H&R Block, in your corner.
96 car take.
DLP technology from Texas Instruments powers the ultimate HD TV picture. Our high-definition chip uses millions of tiny mirrors to deliver a razor-sharp picture. It's so lifelike, so real, you're there. Go see the difference DLP technology can make in your new TV. DLP, only from Texas Instruments. It doesn't get any more real than this.
Back in Chicago, polishing Syracuse Saturday night. ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU all head down to Tobacco Road. Carolina Duke, ESPN full circle at 9 Eastern. College basketball Saturday primetime presented by Cisco Systems. Watch the game on ESPN. Above the Rim on ESPN2. The Cameron Crazies on ESPNU. Coach Majerus wants a Coach Krzyzewski cam. I don't know if we'll get that one pulled off. But, Coach, who do you think is going to win that game on Saturday night?
Duke. I'm picking Duke coming off that loss to Florida State. Senior night.
If Duke loses that game, are the Blue Devils in jeopardy of not getting a #1 seed?
No, they've got a #1 seed locked up, in my opinion. I'm anxious about going inside the belly of the beast with the Cameron Crazy Cam.
That's going to be awesome. You'll have plenty of options all at once if you want on Saturday night. Carolina Duke.
I'm going to watch all three at once. I'm serious about that.
I don't doubt your sincerity.
Wait, where am I going to be sent? No, I'm going to Gonzaga to meet you for that great West Coast Conference tourney.
Clink Scales gets a 3 to drop. 15 threes for DePaul.
34 assists in conjunction with those threes.
34 assists.
Is that a record, NCAA record?
34 assists on 40 field goals. Look at their season numbers in comparison with tonight. This looks like a different DePaul team, but Jerry Wainwright did say best basketball of the season. And tonight's game would indicate that that is correct, as Syracuse with a careless turnover.
I love Jay Wainwright's line on Draylon Burns. He says he doesn't have a conscience, and he says, I hope he never gets one.
Now, DePaul is a young team. They'll have the full allotment of scholarships next year. They lost a scholarship this year. They were anticipating a ruling by the NCAA by that group that is requirements, and DePaul came up short in the Dave Lato era because of 2 players transferring and not getting their degrees, not graduating. It really hurt DePaul academically as a school, and therefore the program subject to losing one scholarship, and DePaul took it this past year. So Wainwright will have the full allotment next year.
Terrific academic institution and really committed to the well-being of the student athlete, as are Marquette. A lot of the teams that entered the Big East this year.
Minute 40 to go in this one. Again, Syracuse coming into this game, many thought in the NCAA tournament. In fact, Joe Lunardi had him as an 11 seed in his bracketology. I'm interested to see what Joe writes tomorrow after this one. Another 3 goes, and it's a 42-point deficit.
That will be the longest plane flight home of Jim Boeheim's life tonight. He'll think he's en route to New Zealand that long.
One minute to go. It's a 42-point DePaul lead. The Blue Demons still have to beat Notre Dame on Saturday. That's going to be a great game in South Bend to even have a chance at going to the Big East tournament. Yet you watch DePaul here tonight, and you'd say they're one of the top 12 teams in their league.
No question about it. They're young. I'm happy for them. The orange against Villanova. The referee doesn't want to call that foul. You have to get out of here as bad as you and I do.
Shot clock violation. Shot clock is off. 33 seconds to go in the game. You ever have a game like that as a coach where your team just got blown out and you didn't know what to say to your players?
But the problem here tonight is the Syracuse guys didn't bring the energy, the back-to-the-wall mentality and fight that's emblematic of the Syracuse teams you used to broadcast for and enjoyed watching as a student.
So in other words, you didn't have a game like that.
Well, most of the time my kids really gave a good effort. I had games like this, but it wasn't for want of an effort. They need to all look at the Jerry McNamara tape. Go back and watch.
Yeah, he kept fighting. He had 21, and a lot of those in the second half. Meanwhile, DePaul hit 16 threes. Out Syracuse, a huge loss for the Orange. 108-69 the final score. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Rick Majerus and our entire ESPN crew, Dave Pasch saying so long from Illinois. Stay tuned. Off we go to SportsCenter.
Oh, man. This is SportsCenter.
Stalling for time, NFL owners and players put off a roster purge. CBA hope everything changes Thursday night. Who's the best out west? The Mavs and Spurs squaring off to settle that debate. We have a live update from San Antonio. Plus, the Yanks and Sox have reigned supreme in the AL East this season. SportsCenter on your television. Teamed up with Steve Levy, I'm John Anderson. Thanks for having us. You know, somewhere between deadlock and deal, NFL owners and players have at least reached agreement on a delay.
John, and while there were some exits, that delay did prevent a ton of talented football players from flooding the free agent market. At least one big name, however, he is Tennessee. The Titans will pay Steve McNair an additional $1 million, so they don't have to pay him $50 million more. The extra mil means the quarterback will be a free agent after the upcoming season. The $50 million option would have extended McNair's contract through 2009. He turned 33 last month. The Chiefs cut 4 players today, including corners Dexter McLeon and Eric Warfield. The Panthers cut linebacker Brandon Short, while the Raiders said goodbye to veteran defensive tackle Ted Washington. The Seahawks did the same to one of the key free agent signings of a year ago, Jamie Sharper. Rachel Nichols now has more on the day that was in the NFL.
Thursday's NFL negotiations got off to an ominous start. Owners took less than an hour to unanimously reject the players' latest proposal to extend the collective bargaining agreement. Then, Commissioner Paul Tagliabue called the union's demands unreasonable and excessive.
The proposal that the Players Association has on the table basically is have your cake and eat it too proposal.
The game, the overall fans, everybody would be hurt if we basically accepted the situation as it's been offered and as it would be today. Everybody would be hurt.
About as dire can be. There has to be a fundamental change in their proposal for anything further constructive to begin to take place.
But as the union held to its demands, the league stance seemed to thaw. In the late afternoon, the owners notified the union that a new offer was forthcoming. The union, in turn, agreed to extend the midnight deadline that would have locked in the rules for the 2006 season. Still, as one of the lead negotiators for the union stressed to me, quote, "We're willing to talk, but the players are not willing to change their basic economic stance." In New York, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
And here, as always, to make sense of the NFL's CBA negotiations, at least for the common man, is Chris Moore. Gene Upshaw, who had been adamant he was not going to push back free agency. Why are we pushing back the start of free agency?
Well, I'm not sure I can make sense of this, but people say a lot of things in labor talks. Just as Paul Tagliabue painted a dire picture, what I'm told is that late in the day, it was the management, it was the owners who called Gene Upshaw, the Players Association boss, and said, "We have another proposal for you." And it was at that point that Upshaw signed off on the extension without the union signing off on it. What that proposal is, have they presented it yet? I don't know, but that's what prompted this delay or extension.
So should we garner hope from this? Is a deal likely then?
Well, you know, there's a lot of issues here. You know, I will say this, Dan Rooney of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jerry Richardson of the Carolina Panthers, two owners, actually stayed back in New York today after that initial meeting to massage this thing. There are some issues between high revenue clubs and low revenue clubs, no matter what type of solidarity you present today. That's difficult to me to solve all these issues in 72 hours, but certainly they've been working on this thing for quite a while, so you never say never. Obviously, Upshaw wouldn't have signed off on this delay had there not been some hope. And I might add, what I'm hearing is that Upshaw will not give the owners another delay. So they got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time.
All right, we were all sort of preparing for a big purging of rosters on Thursday. Let's assume a deal doesn't get done. The purging then comes this weekend. But if it does, what sort of happens to NFL rosters and some of our favorite players who we thought?
Well, one of the things that happened on Thursday is that they said if you notified a player or you submitted a waiver on a player today, you can delay that if you want to. A guy like Will Shields of Kansas City, the Chiefs were going to cut him, and they said, hold on. So they have until Sunday to try and work this thing out. I still believe 80% of the cuts that were coming this week were coming anyway. Teams use the salary cap all the time as an excuse to their fans to cut a player when, in fact, they were going to cut that player anyway. But the bottom line is that we have until 6 o'clock Sunday to drama is going to look like.
Very good, Mart, and I apologize, but I guess you've been put on call for the weekend. Thanks so much.
Thanks for the apology.
All right, fellas, here's the story. I was going to say here's the deal. That's just an expression. There's really no,
not a deal.
Here's the story. Thanks to the extension, teams will have until 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday to waive players. Then at 1 minute after midnight Eastern, so officially Monday, free agency will begin. The current CBA does not expire until after the upcoming season, if no salary cap in 2007. We welcome those of you just joining us here on SportsCenter across the top of the hour, 11 Eastern here in the East. Plenty of other sports news to tell you about, but the bottom line of the NFL, all the big-name players you expect to be cut because of salary cap reasons today. Tune in Sunday night to find out.
Eventually where we're at is where we are, except that we're going to be right back there again on Sunday. You know, we're in the same situation. We've just moved it 72 hours ahead.
I'm working Sunday night.
We should wait and see what happens. I will, and I'll be watching the final round of the Ford Players Championship from Doral. You know, 9 of the top 10 players in the world are there. Before we get to Sunday, you got to play the first round. There's Tiger Woods, defending champion.
Perhaps C for classical. And the reborn Louisiana Philharmonic will take care of that in a concert next Saturday. It's first in New Orleans since Katrina. Lee Cowan has more.
There's a saying about music in New Orleans. If you ain't got it in you, you can't blow it out. Jazz at first. But the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra is now living it. The flyer for their last regular performance still hangs outside the now-destroyed Orpheum Theater. It was just 2 days before Hurricane Katrina hit. In the hours that followed, 1/3 of the orchestra members lost their homes and the tools of their trade.
Got more music stands, more music.
Teresa Gold is a violinist. Her husband plays bass. The room used to be a testament to their love of classical music. And rummaging through the rubble, that's when it hit them.
If everybody's got to spend money on their houses, you know, they're not going to have their pockets really loose for the orchestra.
So like so many other hurricane victims, most of the orchestra left New Orleans in search of a life and livelihood elsewhere. Why stay behind and play, they figured, if there were so few left behind to listen. The Louisiana Philharmonic was the nation's only full-time symphony owned and operated by its musicians. And other musicians all around the country weren't about to let Katrina kill that. So city after city took the musicians in. Some offered them part-time work in their orchestras. The Kennedy Center extended its hand. And several symphonies, including the New York Philharmonic, invited them to play at fundraisers.
With the New York Phil, I mean, that would never happen in my lifetime, and wow, it was amazing.
And suddenly, their theory changed.
If you're not there playing music, there definitely will be no one to listen. We're back. Thank you.
So, despite their houses being unlivable and rents through the roof, despite not even having a regular stage to play, one by one, nearly every member of the orchestra came back.
I guess the whole healing power of music thing that everybody talks about, there must be some sort of truth to that, because people have said they want to hear our concerts, and we couldn't be happier.
Whoever thought that Mozart was such a mess and deliver the calm after the storm? Lee Cowan, CBS News, Dallas.
Very nice. And that's the CBS Evening News. Later on CBS, 60 Minutes, and the man who calls himself the Prince of Pot. Tomorrow on The Early Show, an Oscar roundup. Thanks for joining us this Sunday evening. I'm Russ Mitchell, CBS News in New York. Good night.
Hours a day, click on cbsnews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart, where you can find everything you and your family need at everyday low prices. Walmart, always low prices, always.
He's called the Prince of Pot, and on 60 Minutes he confesses.
I say, come and arrest me.
His marijuana business is get away with it tonight.
Experience CBS News. WRAL Wireless. Instant weather on your cell phone. Whenever, wherever. 5 different animated Doppler views. The 5-day forecast and severe weather alerts. WRAL Wireless. Go to WRAL.com to subscribe.
Want to shop the Rooms to Go 15th anniversary? Check our Rooms to Go anniversary event. Reason 1, our vendors kicked in with amazing anniversary specials, and we're passing the savings on to you. You get 2 interest-free ways to finance. Hold your first payment until January 2008, or make small monthly payments until January 2010. Either plan, there's no interest. And with America's largest furniture inventory, you can get next-day delivery on in-stock merchandise at the Rooms to Go 15th anniversary.
WRAL Wireless. Instant traffic on your cell phone. Whenever, wherever. With 50 triangle traffic cameras, never get stuck again. WRAL Wireless. Go to WRAL.com to subscribe.
Was a hit-and-run crash an act of terrorism? The latest at 11.
The Unit premieres CBS Tuesday after NCIS.
Most Americans know that if you get sick enough to go to a hospital, it's expensive. But you may be surprised to learn that hospitals all over the country charge their highest prices by far to those who can afford it least.
When you walk in and you get an appendectomy that should be $5,000 as a top dollar, and you're being charged $20,000, that's wrong. You've been hosed, simply put.
Army says you're a violent man. They do say that, but I'm not a violent person.
You wouldn't figure Willie Brand for a quiet young soldier from Cincinnati who volunteered to be a guard at a U.S. military prison in Afghanistan.
But when we met him, Brand was facing court-martial in the deaths of 2 prisoners. The prisoners were found hanging from chains in their isolation cells. They'd been beaten, pulpified, according to the coroner.
You know, you would grab them so they wouldn't, you know, be all swaying. Then you would just come up like that.
Do we want marijuana legal?
Orders, he's the Prince of Pot, the leader of the marijuana legalization movement, who's also the proud proprietor of a multi-million-dollar marijuana business.
I say, come and arrest me.
To the U.S. government, he's one of the biggest drug dealers in North America.
Today, to our knowledge, Mark Emery is the biggest purveyor of marijuana from Canada into the United States.
Here's the amazing part. Mark Emery admits it.
Were you surprised to learn that the DEA spent 18 months and a great to get you charged?
I'm flattered.
I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Dan Rather.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Mike Wallace. Those stories and Andy Rooney tonight on 60 Minutes. Looks like it's March again, which means it's the perfect time to go to Radio Shack and get a singular Sony Ericsson phone that's Bluetooth ready, has speakerphone, a camera, and a video recorder. For the best wireless phones and accessories, come to Radio Shack.
Finally, we're using my credit card miles. They couldn't black us out forever.
But Dad, it's summer.
What are you, a weatherman?
All right, who's up for a little S1 down's a coward?
I'm okay.
They need a Capital One card.
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Kids, look at this! What's in your wallet?
Be undeniably you. LensCrafters Unconditional Happiness Guarantee gives you up to 30 days to decide. Wear them. Change them. Love them. Or your Crafters. You'll see. We're better.
Long ago, nature brought 8 vegetables together to create a powerful form of vegetable nutrition. Turns out nature is one heck of a gardener. V8 100% vegetable juice. Don't just live, thrive.
Let's go now to Jorge Carmona for an update on the impending meteor shower. Jorge?
That's right, Tina. The scientists here are saying that the direct cosmic impact will happen in the next few hours.
To hold more unwanted things every time, use Glad ForceFlex trash bags. Their unique diamond texture means you don't have to be afraid of overstuffing. Glad ForceFlex, now with QuickTime. For stretchable strength, get Glad.
Fasten your seatbelts. The truth is coming out. You know something you're not saying?
You know, some people have secret lives.
New CSI Miami, CBS Monday.
If you go out in the woods today,
Eaten by a bear.
you're in for a big surprise.
All fit the same description.
Well, they look like they could be sisters.
New NCIS Tuesday.
Most Americans know that if you get sick enough to go to a hospital, it's going to be expensive. But you may be surprised to learn that hospitals all over the country charge their highest prices by far to those who can afford it least. The 46 million Americans